Welcome to the Talking Diaries podcast, featuring Dr. Louis Koster with John Kremer. You say that the two insights that lead to liberation, one is to recognize that the dream of the thinking defines me in an experience of myself, and two, realize that what I am is not an experience, and it's unperceivable and undefinable.
Yes. You see, all of that can be said as what you just did. It only makes sense in a place of examination. So you could say that what is unexamined leads to bondage. So by giving yourself the opportunity to literally allow and let be whatever is arising in your consciousness, and it can be like anything. If you take it on as a practice and you're consistent in that, then that takes courage. Then at some point it will give you the opportunity to actually see what is not true. Like you see these thoughts coming or like arising that tell you all kinds of things about yourself. And rather than, or instead, like, oh, I don't like that, and kind of move away from that or shy away from that, if you let that be, you get in the full presence, or there's an awakening, so to speak, that tells you, well, this is not what I am. It is true that all of that stuff comes up, but it's not what I am. Then there's an awakening to basically the absurdity of it, like how you've lived your life, being informed by something that is not of your own making. These things, they come up. I think that is a crucial insight that has you less identify with it. And then it gives the question, like, then what is real? What is real about my life? If not that, then what? So if that is not reality, if that is not true, then what is true? So only that opens up the question, what then is true? But you can only see the truth, or let's say the truth can only start talking to you when you are first clear about what is not true. Otherwise you can't hear it. You're too much part of it. You're too much involved. Your attention is too much wrapped up in what is in front of you, or that you're part of, that you're not even aware that you are part of. It's just the way it is. It's like how you experience life. But it doesn't have to be like that.
But when you, I would say this, all that is untrue is essentially what everybody experiences every day.
Yes.
What is true is beyond that experience.
Yes. But you can only find it out through your own experience. Someone telling you that that's not true is not going to make any difference.
Right. If you don't experience it yourself,
Yeah.
if you don't go through the process, if you don't allow for the totality of what arises, you get stuck in the trick of memory.
Yeah, and whatever unfolding that unleashes, that then kind of grabs you in an experience, and that's then the only thing that is there. I can give you an example, like while you were talking, it's interesting, like when I remember from primary school, so I had a stutter, and I came home crying, and my mother said, so why are you crying? I said, well, I stuttered in the classroom when I was waiting for my turn to say, the assignment or something. And the children laughed. And I said, that was horrible. I was distraught. And then my mother said, oh, it's not true what the children say about you. And you are a really nice boy, or, you are a beautiful person, or whatever she said, to kind of encourage me to see another perspective. But all of that didn't make any difference. So it is truly through your own experience that you can at some point discern, like, whatever that dynamic is that is unleashed by someone's speech that tends to grab me. If I let it be and I have the full look at it, so to speak, I can see its inauthenticity. It's something that comes up beyond, without your consent, that tells you all kind of things about yourself. Like, am I going to be taking that for real? Like, is that true? Like, what is this? And so you can't deny that that is a dynamic that takes place, but you can question the validity of it or the truth of it. And so you can never get rid of the mental process, or you can't get rid of that dynamic, or something like that. But you can see it for what it is. And then realize that whatever it tells you is not your true self. It's not. That is what sets you free from it. And that is what this conversation is all about, is to bring you, or to bring the person who's listening to this podcast or is watching this as a YouTube video, to a place where they can discern for themselves, where they can liberate themselves from whatever is part of all of us, our humanity, that we have basically left unexamined. What is unexamined leads to bondage. It entraps you. And then, mistakenly, you draw conclusions based on that. How is the outlook of your life? It says the outlook of your life, and what you see is possible, and then you take decisions based upon that, and there you have a life that is very limited, or is not to your full potential. And it doesn't have to be like that. So it starts out, the journey, so to speak, of be yourself, is by giving yourself the opportunity to truly examine what's going on there. And as far as I can see, the only way that is possible is when you have the courage, and it takes a lot of courage. I don't take it for granted. And it is, how would I say that, counterintuitive to let be in its totality that which you don't like, which immediately calls up a response like, oh, I don't want to be with that. Now, what if you let that be completely and then see it for what it is? You will wind up in a place where you can see that the monsters that were chasing you, so to speak, don't exist. And they have never existed. It's a pure illusion. It is an appearing reality brought about the duality of language that we basically have bought into. We were born into that, so to speak. We are born into the duality of language. I've never said it before. It came about in this conversation. So that is what I see is the opportunity of this conversation.
Thank you for listening to the Talking Diaries podcast featuring Dr. Louis Koster. For more information, check out louiskoster.com/Talking Diaries and subscribe to the Talking Diaries YouTube channel. Also check out louiskoster.com/quiz and take the free quiz to discover more about yourself.